Hello and welcome to Liberty Nation TV with your host, Jeff Charles. The progressive left faction of the Democratic Party doesn't seem to be learning its lesson. Despite the fact that America is clearly not on board with their extreme agenda, especially when it comes to law enforcement, they have chosen to introduce yet another proposal that would make Americans less safe. I have with me Liberty Nation's senior political analyst, Tim Donner. Thanks for joining me.
Always a pleasure, Jeff.
Great. So we're going to talk about the Breathe Act. Can you kind of give us the rundown on what that is and why it's problematic?
Well, I guess the only good thing about the Breathe Act, Jeff, is that it can be described very succinctly. The plan is to eliminate federal prisons. And that's over a 10-year period during which all federal prisoners will be released into the wind. This is the ultimate. When I wrote this up for LibertyNation.com, I said this is the progressive brain on drugs. This is progressivism taken to the degree of full derangement. So I don't really need to give you any more details except to say that there will be no more federal prisons, and every federal prisoner we have now, including rapists and pedophiles and jihadists, will be released. This is the progressive vision in the Breathe Act.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that they're even proposing this. I mean, it'd be one thing if they were saying, shut down the prisons and let's move the prisoners to other prisons. I still would disagree with it, but at least that's a little bit more of a sensible approach.
Well, what I say, Jeff, is that most of the time proposals like this, which reveal the heart of somebody's thinking, when you drill down on hypotheticals and you say, what if? But most of the time, when we get to the heart of what someone really believes, it's in secret, it's hidden. For example, when Barack Obama was caught on tape during the 2008 campaign, saying that conservatives cling guns in their religion. Okay, so that's something we got to the heart of Barack Obama, but it was in private. It was not meant for public consumption. This is admitting your insanity with a public act in the form of proposed actual legislation. I mean, we thought, Jeff, that defunding the police was insane. Mm-hmm. But this is one-step thinking from the left gone even further. I mean, the one-step thinking is, there's some bad cops, so we'll get rid of all cops. And there's some people in prison, admittedly so, people who are mentally ill, people who are drug abusers, who shouldn't be there. But the one-step thinking is, because there are some people that shouldn't be in federal prisons, let's just get rid of them all. That's the progressive mindset.
So how are they selling this, Tim? Like, how are they actually trying to convince people this is a good idea? Like, what are the supposed benefits of such an action?
The supposed benefits are a further loosening of the restrictions of a white supremacist society that has unjustly imprisoned particularly people of color. Victims and oppressors, Jeff, everyone's a victim or an oppressor, and federal prisoners are victims in the progressive mindset. I mean, this is something, it may be that a great majority of the people who were released are Black, but I'm sure if you polled Black people across this country, you wouldn't get more than, what do you think, 5% that would support such an act? They're not even trying to sell it, Jeff. They know it's not going to pass. It has no chance. And as a matter of fact, they would have been better just to remain quiet. As they say, better to remain quiet and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and propose legislation and remove all doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it was always the oppressor-oppressed narrative. And even on this broadcast, I mean, you are clearly oppressing me. So I understand where they're coming from.
Jeff, I understand that you're triggered. I do. I understand you're triggered. And I'm gonna pull a full Beto O'Rourke on here and admit my complicity in a white supremacist society.
Good.
I'm guilty. Guilty as charged, Jeff.
And I'm glad that you've come to terms with that. I mean, my thing is that people should be condemning white supremacy at least 3 times a day. That's what I talk about on Twitter. But I digress. Last question. I mean, What do you think it says about these progressives that they keep pushing these solutions, even though it's so obvious that nobody, including the people they claim to be safeguarding, actually want these types of proposals?
I mean, all they're doing at this point is doing the conservatives a favor, because they're allowing the right wing to say Rashida Tlaib, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ayanna Pressley, and the rest of these radicals. They're enabling the Republicans to make these people the face of the Democratic Party. What if you're a standard issue moderate Democrat or someone like Joe Manchin or Kirsten Sinema? Are you comfortable with the fact that this kind of thing, the Breathe Act, is enabling Republicans to posture Democrats as being socialist radicals? I mean, that's all it's serving the purpose of, because it has zero chance of passing. I'd be surprised if it got more than, what do you think, 50, 60 votes? So it's all for show, not for go.
Yeah, and I think all for show and not for go, it should be the mantra of the progressive left. But we'll be keeping an eye on this as this fails miserably in Congress, and we will continue to report on it. Thanks for joining me.
Pleasure, Jeff.
And remember, this show is proudly sponsored by LibertyNation.com, where you can access podcasts, breaking news and analysis, and a range of biting and brilliant shows to whet your appetite for freedom and your fondness for the great American Constitution. Just go to LibertyNation.com on your browser, or hit Rumble, YouTube, or check out our Liberty Nation News Roku channel. I'm Jeff Charles. Thanks for watching. This program is a production of LibertyNation.com, where truth is making a comeback.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.